Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of EJRC Outdoors. Whew. So, guys, last night I had this dream that I don't know. I was fishing. I was the weirdest dream. I was fishing, caught this massive sailfish. Was fishing with my brother. It was a good dream. Anyways, but gave me the inspiration to do this video. I woke up and was just thinking, like, man, you need to do a video on your best fishing experiences. So that's what I'm doing, guys. I'm gonna give you guys my best fishing experiences ever, my favorite moments from when I've been fishing. And so let's get right into it. Number one, guys, the first one has got to be the first time I ever went ocean fishing. And I think we went about 5 miles or so off the coast, and we were following these little shrimp boats around trying to catch shark off the back of these shrimp boats, because sharks often follow these boats when they're trying to catch shrimp, because they leave off a lot of shrimp and stuff that come out, like fall out of the nets and stuff. And so shark will follow them and just pick up the scraps. So I was probably about 12 or so, and we were in Hilton Head, and we were on this charter. I was so excited to go on it. We went out for about 6 hours, and it was just awesome. It's the first time I ever went ocean fishing, and it hooked me. Ocean fishing, saltwater fishing is my favorite thing to do now. Favorite type of fishing. So we went saltwater fishing behind these boats, and we really weren't catching anything. Like, we caught some weird stuff. My brother caught a horseshoe crab. Like, we were catching like basically nothing behind these boats. And so we changed up strategies a few times, and ended up we started catching like some little sharks, a lot of little black tips like this big. And then I hooked into the biggest one. This was near the end of the trip. We actually stayed out like an hour longer, our guy did, because we weren't catching a lot. And I caught a bonnethead shark, not a huge one, it was about this big, about that big right there. It was a couple feet long, maybe 3 feet long. And that's not very big for like people who shark fish all the time, but I was 12 and this thing fought hard, because sharks are just all muscle. They fight so hard. As everyone knows, they explode when they hit the bait, and they just fight so hard. I had to hook into a little harness. I brought that thing in, and I was so freaking happy. That was so cool. I'll drop that picture right now. And that was one of my favorite moments all the time. That got me hooked on not only fishing, but saltwater fishing, which I cannot wait to do more of. I try to do it every year when you go on vacation. Eventually I want to move down south and do a lot more of that. So that's number one, guys. Number two has got to be the first time first and only time I ever caught a northern pike. My buddy always went to this one spot, and he was catching them. And you have to park at a park, and then you walk back this trail, and then it goes over a bridge, which goes over an interstate, and then there's a river to the left once you get across, and you have to like drop down this real steep hill to get down there. Super hard to fish. I've made some videos there, because the trees overhang on the bank, so you can only fish like maybe like 100 yard, not 75 yard stretch on the left side. And I had been fishing there. It was in December, actually. It was super cold. I went there after school and started fishing. I was not catching anything for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I was gonna give up soon, and I just hooked into this massive northern pike. It was so awesome. I remember just hitting my lure like a hammer, and just like the rush you got when I knew I finally had never caught one before. And then I had to bring it in, and it was so toothy I didn't know how to do it, and I just remember it cut up all my fingers, because I had my fingers in the gill plate. And they actually have, cool thing about pike is they have teeth in their gills. You would never know, but so you got to use some gloves or something when you're handling them. But that was an awesome time for me. I'll drop that picture right now. So guys, the next one, number three, this one has got to be last year when we went ocean fishing. I caught an awesome barracuda. We went out, this is the first time I ever went way out in the ocean. We went 12 miles out, which is pretty far, for I don't ocean fish a lot, and that was just awesome. I caught a barracuda, and I remember we were bringing in like little sea bass and stuff, and sharks and barracuda were eating them as we would bring them in. And my dad got seasick. I'll drop the picture of the barracuda I caught, and then I think I also caught a shark I'll drop that picture right now. And that was just an awesome time because it was just so clear out there, and our guide was a cool guy. I just love going out in the ocean fishing. So that's number 3. Number 4 is when I went walleye fishing on, it was right by the 4th of July. So some of our family has a dock up on Lake Erie, and it's in this place called Meadow Lagoon. Super cool spot, bunch of docks and stuff. People go down there on weekends, just play music, fish, be like on the boat. And we went out, they're super good walleye fishermen, so we went out with them, and it was right by 4th of July. I think it was like the weekend before. 4th of July was on like a Tuesday, so this was on like Saturday. And I remember we were walleye fishing, and while we were walleye fishing, the lagoons had their fireworks for the year, and they have super big fireworks. So while we're out there walleye fishing, we got to watch the fireworks, and there was a bunch of boats out there lighting up the water, watching the fireworks. And I remember while we were fishing, we could see these fireworks, and we were watching them. And I just remember my uncle being like, "Hey, like telling us get back to work, like keep fishing, keep netting the fish," because we were catching tons of walleye. And while the fireworks was going on, that was such a cool experience. And that's got to be number 4, guys. Now that leads to number 5. This one is gonna be when I caught my biggest catfish. It was 10 pounds. It was pretty big for me. And we have a family lake house that we go to in Marblehead, Lake Erie. It's one of my favorite places. So every time I go there, it just reminds me of like summer. You don't have to worry about doing like anything. You don't have to worry about school, work, whatever. Once you go up there, it's such a good atmosphere up there. Everyone's happy. There's all the local bait shops and all the good seafood up there. Well, it's from the lake, but like all the walleye, cod, perch you can eat. It's such a cool spot. There's a good ice cream place up there. It's just one of my favorite spots to go to as a kid. And we live about 2 houses from that house. Our house is about 2 houses from the water, our family's house. And so we'd always go up there and share it with like my cousins and stuff, because it's like the whole side of my family owns it, where anyone's allowed to go there. And when we would go catfishing in the morning and at night, we'd go right off. There was a little pier. We would go off these little rocks. It's just a private one. So my dad would always take us there when we were kids. And I just remember this day we went out there. There was tons of mosquitoes and stuff. But once we were out there for a while, you didn't really notice them, and they lessened up. And I decided, this is when I started to get into fishing a little more, to cast not into like the little lagoon area or the channel, but to cast like out towards the bay more. And I hooked into this 10-pound catfish, and I had been catching big ones before. I caught like a 5-pounder, a couple big ones, and then I just caught this 10-pound catfish. And I just got this new rod. It was a bait casting rod. It's made for like flipping and pads and stuff, flipping jigs, but I used it for catfish. I had 50-pound braid on, I remember, in case I caught something huge, and it was just awesome. I caught this big 10-pound catfish. We got there with all my family. We were catching tons of catfish, and that was a big one for me because it was like I had just learned a couple catfish rigs, and I did it all myself, and that was one of my favorite moments fishing. So those guys, in no particular order, are my 5 favorite moments fishing. You gotta keep adventuring, guys. Keep getting outdoors and have some style with it. If you want some style, go to ecreeksoutdoors.com. That's like the 2 sides of me. I have an adventure side and I have a stylish side. And I hope that you guys will take the adventure style motto and live life to the fullest. Drop your favorite experiences in the outdoors down below in a comment. And I hope to see you guys next time on the next episode of E Creeks Outdoors. Always dropping new stuff. I will see you next time.